The recent developments surrounding Donald Trump's victory over the Democrats in the 2024 US presidential election have raised concerns within the British political landscape, particularly among key Labour figures. Baroness Mattinson, a former close ally of Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, has drawn disturbing parallels between Trump's victory and the current state of Labour politics. The political strategist, who served as Starmer's Director of Strategy from 2021 until last July, warned that Trump's scary return to power in the US should serve as a wake-up call for British politicians, especially within the Labour Party. In her comments, Baroness Mattinson expressed that the results of the US election mirrored the challenges that Labour faced in 2019, when the party experienced a significant collapse in support, especially in its traditional heartlands. The 2019 general election saw Labour losing crucial seats to the Conservatives under Boris Johnson, a trend that has continued to plague the party's fortunes. Currently, polling data suggests that Labour is trailing Nigel Farage's Reform UK party by nearly 2 percentage points, a situation that the party finds worrying as it faces a potential loss of its Red Wall constituencies, which were once Labour strongholds in the north of England. Trump's victory, Mattinson argued, showed that incumbent parties, including Labour, find it increasingly difficult to present themselves as agents of change, especially when they have been in power for an extended period. She pointed out that the Democrats, much like Labour in 2019, lost the support of key voter groups, including working-class and low-paid non-graduates. The crux of the issue lies in the ability of parties to resonate with voters' desires for change, and in this respect, Trump succeeded by channeling the anger of these disillusioned voters. His disregard for the status quo in Washington, D.C., and his promise to disrupt the system were appealing to those who felt left behind by traditional politics. For Labour, the rise of Reform UK, which is gaining traction among voters disillusioned with the established political parties, poses a significant threat. The party's focus on issues such as immigration, underpinned by Sir Keir's commitment to reducing net migration during the current parliament, reflects an attempt to address voter concerns. However, this could be seen as insufficient to quell the growing popularity of Farage's insurgent party, which has already made significant inroads, including winning seats such as Ashfield, a constituency that had been held by Labour for 62 years. Baroness Mattinson's analysis underscores a wider concern within Labour that unless the party addresses the challenges it faces, it could become vulnerable to an opposition offering a more radical form of change. This could further erode Labour's once dominant position in key regions and increase the likelihood of an electoral setback. Lindsay Mark Lewis, the executive director of the Progressive Policy Institute, echoed similar concerns in a piece for the same magazine. He argued that Trump's victory should serve as a reminder that no political party can take power for granted. Political parties, he said, must constantly earn the trust and support of the electorate, something that requires continuous effort and a deep understanding of the electorate's shifting priorities. Lewis noted that while Trump's loss in 2024 was painful for the Democrats, it could provide the foundation for much-needed transformation within the party, a lesson that British political strategists should heed. The ramifications of Trump's victory and the lessons it offers for Labour go beyond just electoral politics. Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, recently suggested that Britain could learn from Trump's positivity in order to stimulate the economy. This shift in perspective comes as Sir Keir Starmer and his cabinet have been forced to reconsider their approach to economic policy and their positioning on critical national issues. In the wake of these events, Starmer and his team have praised Trump, despite the past criticism they had directed at the former president. Sir Keir has acknowledged Trump's political success, emphasizing that the US president's ability to connect with voters and deliver his message was central to his win. These comments are particularly striking given the past remarks made by figures such as David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, who has been openly critical of Trump in the past. Notably, Trump himself has expressed a positive view of Starmer, describing their relationship as very good. This surprising endorsement, coming despite criticisms from Trump's own Vice President J.D. Vance, suggests that there is room for rapprochement between Labour and the Trump administration. Vance, however, has been vocal in his criticism of the British government, particularly with regard to issues of free speech, which he believes is under threat in the UK. The political dynamics unfolding both in the UK and the US are raising significant questions about the future of established political parties and the role of political disruptors. For Labour, the rise of figures like Farage and the growing discontent among key voter groups suggest that the party must find a way to reassert itself and address the changing needs of the electorate. Failure to do so could see it left behind, much like the Democrats in the US, facing a growing challenge from political outsiders offering something entirely different. The coming months will be critical in determining whether Labour can find a way to regain its footing and remain competitive in the face of rising populist movements.